Everything Golf. Now, here's your host for Golf in the Northwest, Jason Swigard.
And a fine good morning to you all. Welcome in. It is summer. Conditions were great. Played out at Camas Meadows with my buddy yesterday afternoon. Feeling a little bit of that heat. Was nice. My game was not nice. Started out okay. Back nine, it was all over the place. The greens, however, are in excellent condition at Camas. A little slower than I thought they would be, but rolling true. Just kept leaving everything about 3 feet short.
Do you play better in the heat?
Not necessarily. I don't think it's one way or the other. It's
Nothing for you?
So obviously the muscles are easier to loosen up. So you feel like you can free swing it a little bit more. Sometimes that's good. Sometimes that's bad. Things
Hamstrings
can get
a little creamier.
Whoa. Hey now.
So you get them loose.
They're a little looser.
Yeah.
Things can get a little looser. The only thing in the heat, though, is if you don't have some shade, you don't stay hydrated, you can tend to get fatigued a little bit more in the final few holes if you're not paying attention to things.
I see.
But other than that, no, it's mostly user error at that point if I'm concentrated and focused and dialed in, or just getting frustrated and letting things fall apart. So you're going to get out and play a round of golf at all this summer, sometime, somewhere, maybe some putt-putt, maybe some top golf. I know you have a pair of old sticks somewhere in the garage.
I don't.
Oh, man.
I haven't had a pair of golf clubs. A set of golf clubs since...
What, college?
No. Not even then.
Wow.
10 years old?
Man.
Yeah, college. Now, I've told you this story before, haven't I?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So in college, I got roped in by Alex Linenthal, who he needed like volunteers because I guess they were having some golf tournament up in Eugene.
A little charity event or something?
Yeah, it was a charity event where they were going to have Oregon Ducks football players.
And Oregon State football.
And Oregon State football players, and you could split them off into pairs, right?
Gotcha.
So the players could play with a group of 3 dudes. And so the idea originally came to me as, hey, they just need somebody to go there and meet with people.
Shake
you don't
some
have
hands,
to play.
kiss some babies.
Yeah, and I
there you
go, I don't know about that. I don't know if I want to do that on Saturday. This is off season in the summer.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think I want to do that. And he kept hounding me, and he goes, all you got to do is just go there and meet people. That's it. And I said, fine, I'll do it. Nothing else going on. Drive over about 30 minutes. By the way, you're going to play. And I go, what? And he goes, you're going to play. And I go, well, I don't even have clubs. He goes, no, I have my other ones. You're going to play. And I go, Alex, I haven't played golf since I was 10. I was like, it's going to be horrible. And he goes, no, you'll be fine. Don't worry. You're athletic. You'll get it.
Do you have the old baseball grip out there?
Oh, it didn't go well at all. First shot. I don't know if there's a photo or an image in the dictionary of shanking. But that should be there.
There you go. Firing up hosel rockets. Huh?
I was more impressed by the fact that I actually hit it.
There you go.
That was
put club to ball. That's the first step.
Yeah. See, and when I was coming up to it, that was my biggest fear in my head. Was
You're just gonna whiff.
I'm gonna Happy Gilmore this and whiff. And I hit it, and I was like, oh my gosh! And in that first half second of hitting it, I go, wow, maybe he's right. I did it.
And then it went sideways.
I literally went, where'd the ball go? And these guys are laughing behind me. They're like, over there in the forest.
No. Well,
so that was my last experience with golf.
We'll work on that.
I know. I need some intense lessons.
Yeah. Well, you should come out Thursday, July 11th. Come say hey out at the Fan Golf Classic, the 10th annual Fan Golf Classic. Our friends at Autotown GMC presenting there along with Michelob Ultra. I got some more details on that. We're going to do our club swap. We got some more details. So those of you coming out, if you have some recently used clubs, maybe Father's Day, you got a new putter, a new driver, a new wedge or something, but your other one's still in good shape, my friends at the Oregon chapter of the PGA would love to see some donated clubs so they can refit them for junior golfers who wouldn't otherwise be able to get into nice equipment. So we'll have some more details and an update on that. Coming up at 8:30, very excited to talk to Jason Bangold. I hope I'm getting that right. He's the PGA General Manager and Director of Golf at Gearhart Golf Links. It is the oldest golf course west of the Mississippi that's continually operated. I believe it was first built in 1897, but they got a lot of fun stuff going on. He's had quite the career in golf after growing up in a small town outside of Toronto. Spending some time as a pro at some of the top resorts and golf clubs in Hawaii, has made his way to the Oregon coast. So should be a fun story. That will be at 8:30. We got a major going on just north of us up at Sahalee outside of Seattle. That's going on. We got some news to get to. We'll wrap up the U.S. Open. Bryson DeChambeau, could he be the guy to finally get LIV and the PGA Tour to come together and force their hand to figure out how to operate together sooner than later? Will he, the turnaround that his persona and professional perception has done in just a few years is pretty remarkable. Tiger Woods getting some lifetime exemptions. Is that a big deal? Is it not? All of that here to come. But as we do every Saturday morning, we start by going inside the ropes.
It's time for an insider's look at the leaderboards, the latest on all tours, plus local golf events and golf news. This is Inside the Ropes, part of Golf in the Northwest.
4 tours we are keeping an eye on today. The Champions Tour, one of its long-time stops, the Enjoy Golf Club in Endicott, New York, the Dick's Sporting Goods Open, Dick's Open. Stephen Ames, the Canadian, is your leader after round one at 8 under par. Stephen Allen at 7 under. Rocco Mediate, nice to see Rocco out there. His knees and legs supporting him. He is 6 under. Ernie Els at 5 under, so a nice leaderboard. And Bernhard Langer is back from his injury issues earlier in the year. He's tied with Ernie. He will go out with Ernie and Paul Stankowski. That's the group you probably want to follow. I'm sure you'll see much of them on whatever TV coverage they have today, noon Pacific time on the Golf Channel. Peacock as well is where you can pick that one up. So if you want to see the champions getting after it there on a track that they know well. Korn Ferry Tour continues its drive to determine the next 25 PGA Tour members. They are in Norman, Oklahoma this week. The Jimmy Austin OU Golf Club course, the Compliance Solutions Championship. John Pack is your leader, 14 under par, 1 shot clear of Jack McGuire. Cooper Jones, who is an amateur, getting an exemption as we see a lot of the young up-and-coming juniors as we roll through where they're nearby, getting some exemptions. Trevor Cohn at 12 under. Alistair Doherty kind of scuffled in round one, but he had a nice 567 in round two to make the cut. Even through 7 this morning, he's got to get the birdie machine working, get that putter going as he continues to hover around the 110 mark. He just needs that one hot week. If he can reconstruct that as he did on the PGA Tour a couple of months ago to push him up near the top. But we wish Alistair the best. I know he's got to be getting fatigued, traveling around. He can feel like he's just at the tipping point. It's just that it's putting 4 rounds together for him now. It's the last piece in the puzzle to break through and finally get that victory that he is looking for. So we'll keep an eye on Alistair, our man out of Vancouver, trying to make it here on the PGA Tour. But they are in Norman, Oklahoma this week. The PGA Tour, its last signature event of the season is the Travelers Championship, TPC River Highlands up there in Cromwell, Connecticut, coming off the U.S. Open. Tom Kim, the youngster turning 22, is at 13 under par. He's got a 2-shot lead over Colin Morikawa, Akshay Bhatia, and Scotty Scheffler. Xander Schauffele right there at 10 under par. Sungjae Im, Shane Lowry, Justin Thomas at 9 under, Tony Finau at 8 under. It is a great leaderboard, as you would expect in an event like this. Early round coverage right now on ESPN+. You'll get Golf Channel at 10 a.m., and then we'll see when it picks up around noon, 1 o'clock today. I believe they are on CBS as it kicks in. Yes, CBS will have the coverage around noon after the early round coverage on Golf Channel. So you can enjoy that this weekend. But Tom Kim, after he burst onto the scene and winning a couple of events right out of the chute, he won the Wyndham Championship, the regular season closing event in 2022. We won the Shriners Children Open there in the offseason, back-to-back in 2023. Also had a couple of Asian Tour wins, but now he's trying to get it back. He struggled most of the season, but he had a tied for fourth finish at the RBC Canadian Open a few weeks ago and starting to round into form. So the biggest question will be, can he hold off Morikawa, Scheffler, and Schauffele, who are right on his heels? Should be a fun week for them. The major this week is on the LPGA Tour, their third major of the season, just up the road at Sahalee Country Club in Sammamish, Washington. The KMPG Women's PGA Championship. Nice to see him back on the West Coast, so you get some afternoon golf. You'll see some of it on PGA Tour. Peacock will have it on the stream, and then NBC will pick up coverage in the afternoons. Sarah Schmelzel and Amy Yang are your co-leaders at 6 under par, but all eyes are on Lexi Thompson. Just a few weeks after she announced that this would be her last full season on tour at age 29, came out with a 4 under 68 in round one, grabbed a share of the lead there, an even par round of 72 on Friday, but in the mix, tied with Jin Young Ko and Hanako Shibuno at 4 under. So we'll see if Lexi can keep this going. Now she had the great finish last week, finishing strong. Found a little something in her game of recency after making the announcement. And so we'll have to see. It would be great. I know fans would love to see her to get another victory here. If it was a major, that would be amazing. As a result, she was struggling to make cuts early on in the season. But last week, finished tied for second at 16 under par. Finally made some a nice cash, and that was after missing cuts in 4 of her previous 5 rounds, including the U.S. Women's Open. So maybe Lexi is just relaxed, let everything go, and free swinging. We'll hear from her a little bit later in the show. The big mystery right now is Nelly Korda, who missed a 3rd consecutive cut. She had the worst professional round of her career. Some of it was bad bounces. Sahalee, for anybody that doesn't know, is very, very different course. It is narrow fairways, ginormous firs and evergreens up there. If you've seen it, Brooke Henderson, the last time they were up there in 2016, won the Women's PGA Championship, but it is tight driving. If you are off course, thick rough, it is a second shot course as well, trying to give yourself a chance to win, but Nelly Korda only hit 8 of 18 greens in regulation in round 2 after being right up in contention in round 1. Dropped from tied for 4th, I think, or tied for 2nd, all the way down to 72nd, missing the cut. Just amazing. From a 69 to an 81. So she will kind of shake it off, get herself prepared. They will go across the pond here in a little bit. The women in a month will be here in Portland for the Portland Classic out there. We'll see if she can get it together. So that really is the big mystery. She's had some rounds like that, just absolutely can't seem to hit greens, 3 putting for no good reason, and so she'll figure it out. She's still ranked number 1. Nobody's close to her in the world golf rankings there for the women, but just one of those head scratchers as to where these rounds are coming up for Nelly all of a sudden with the 79s, 80s, 81s. Never had this before. Maybe it's just the law of averages after her hot start, winning 5 of her first 6 starts. But we'll keep an eye on that for sure. When we come back, the U.S. Open, a crowning achievement for Bryson DeChambeau. Rory McIlroy had it within his grasp, looked like he was going to end his 10-year drought, missed a couple of what would seemingly easy or almost automatic putts. He hadn't missed inside of 4 feet all season long, misses 2 down the stretch. Bryson with an amazing up and down at Pinehurst, number 2 out of the sand to clinch it and win his second major. But even more impressive than that is the turnaround he's done after kind of being a pariah a little bit, coming out, trying to be smarter than everybody, bulking up. He has a scientific approach to the game, but once he trying to prove that he was smarter than everybody else and just said, this is how the game makes sense to me. I know it's different. I just want to go out and see what I can do and have some fun. Now he's a bit more of a showman, playing to the crowd. It is working. Will he be the guy that forces LIV and the PGA Tour to finally come together, as the PGA Tour desperately wants a showman and a draw like Bryson to be in more of its fields? We'll talk about that. Hear from Bryson on the change and what's gone on there after winning the U.S. Open. Getting started here. It's Golf in the Northwest on 1080 The Fan.
Don't give wildfire a path to your door. Prepare your home and yard before fire strikes. Clean your roof and gutters of leaves and debris. Limb up trees. Space those plants. Cut your lawn short, and if possible, keep it green. It's called defensible space, and it works. Go to keeporegongreen.org to learn more.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Lowe's knows owning a project means owning the right tools. And during Craftsman Days, you can save big on what you need from a brand you trust. Get a free Select V20 tool when you buy a Select battery 2-pack. Plus, get your choice of the V20 string trimmer or leaf blower for only $99. Find these savings and more today. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 7/10 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
This weekend only in Clackamas, it's the Pacific Northwest Spa and Swim Spa Show with up to 50% off hot tubs and swim spas. Plus, get 0% financing, free delivery and setup. Hundreds of hot tubs in stock. Choose from quality brands like Nordic, Artesian, and Tidal Fit. Up to 50% off. The Pacific Northwest Spa and Swim Spa Show in Clackamas on Highway 212. Visit pnwspasale.com to learn more. Sale ends Sunday. Don't miss it. Financing on approved credit. See dealer for details. This is Golf in the Northwest on 1080 The Fan.
8:18 this morning here, Golf in the Northwest for you. Coming up later today, actually over on 910, 1030, it'll be Mets and Cubs, some Major League Baseball for you. We'll have the Sunday night baseball game here on The Fan tomorrow at 3 o'clock, and then Monday, 4:30 over on 910, you can hear Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final after Edmonton has done the near impossible, coming back from an 0-3 hole. They will be back in Florida, so Oilers-Panthers Game 7, that is Monday evening over on 910 ESPN Portland. Want to remind you that Autotown GMC presents the 10th annual Fan Golf Classic at Langdon Farms. Coming up, our unique golf experience. Thursday, July 11th, the afternoon round is sold out. The morning round down to just single-digit number of foursomes left. Things are warming up, so you might want to play in the morning. Matt's Barbecue's back, serving their award-winning food with the usual array of craft beverages in effect. Victorico's Mexican food is back. We'll have their famous breakfast burritos for you. For those playing in the morning round, you can warm up for your round on the Michelob Ultra driving range. So play golf, party with us. The Fan Show hosts will all be out there driving around the course, saying hi to you. We'll be hanging out on the infamous par 3/6 hole, brought to you by Doers. If you need a little swing advice, maybe we'll swing one for you. So you can sign up your foursome now, 1080thefan.com, before the 10th annual Fan Golf Classic is completely sold out. And with the help of our friends at the Oregon PGA chapter, we are going to have our OPGA club swap going on between 11 and 2 p.m., and it looks like Jackson Bensel from Charbonneau is going to come up the road or just come across the road there. He's a PGA associate professional. He's going to come over and help us collect clubs from between 11 and 2. So if you have new and used clubs, either they're junior or adult sizes, plus golf bags, they want to help get them in the hands of the next generation of golfers. So during the changeover, whether you're checking in for the afternoon round or after you finish up in the morning round, Jackson will be there assessing it. Again, relatively new equipment in good condition, but if you've, you got a new putter, you got a new wedge, new driver recently, the old one's still in good working condition, you're just not using it anymore, bring it by. Jackson will be there. He'll assist with the donations. They will provide anyone with a donation tax form if you need that as well. Then after they collect the clubs, it'll go to some of the facilities that do the refitting, new grips, all of those sorts of things. And then they can bring in junior golfers who wouldn't otherwise be able to afford equipment like that. So maybe you've got some junior golfers, they've outgrown some equipment from when they were younger. We'd love to be able to put this in the hands. This was a pet project of Harold Bluestein, and so we want to try to keep this going. COVID kind of put a little damper in its development. So hopefully you will assist us and do so, and thanks to Jackson for helping us out there. We are going on the road for some live shows here this summer with Golf in the Northwest. Next week, I will be in Bend at Widgie Creek. Very excited about that, going over to see family over there. So they have set us up. We'll talk to you about Central Oregon, Widgie Creek, playing golf over there. It is prime time right now to be over there. Couple of weeks, we're going to be out at Chehalem Glen down in Newburgh. And continuing, that course continues to develop. They have amazing practice facilities. They are a home course to a lot of small colleges and high schools in the area as well. But if you want a full facility, public facility, it's not that far a drive. Head on down there. And then we are going to be up at the resort at Mount Hood, I believe July 20th. They are open for business. That course continues to develop as well, the 27 holes up there, so we'll tell you about that one. That'll be on July 20th. We're working on dates with Langdon to be out there. They've got a new GM, so we want to meet him and tell you everything that's going on. So, and we hope to be out to a few more of our courses. I'll be out at some point this summer. We'll do a show with Marcus and Joey and the crew out at my home course at Forest Hills. Some of the reconstruction, redevelopment that they've done on the course now, it's all grown in. So a lot of great things coming up here this summer. It was a great finish. It was all you could have asked for last week at the U.S. Open at Pinehurst #2. A tremendous track, a difficult test. You have Rory McIlroy, Bryson DeChambeau coming down the stretch. Rory misses a couple of putts. Bryson there with the amazing up and down at 18, and Bryson wins another major and has won over the public after being a bit bristly coming onto the scene out of SMU with a very scientific, a very different approach, a clinical approach to the game that frankly, very few of us understood at the time. He has since done a 180. It's pretty amazing. I don't remember a golfer that's really turned around his persona. But more importantly, following the tournament, he sat down with Scott Van Pelt with ESPN, kind of taking it all in, and we just wanted to know first what was going through his mind. Take us down that 18th hole when he hit it in the bunker, then getting up there and figuring out a way that seemed nearly impossible to get that up and down and get the victory.
Yeah, so look, when I hit it in the bunker, I had a short backswing on the second shot with a tree above me, and there's roots everywhere. I could have even hurt my hand. I hit it into the bunker and wanted to hit it past that bunker up on the left and try and run it up on the green, but it just came out right and went in the bunker. And Gibo just looked at me and goes, "I've seen you make harder shots than this work. I've seen you do this before. This is nothing, man. Just, you got this. I've seen way harder shots out of you. Come on." And he just put that positive mindset and positive energy behind me, allowed me to take that 55 degree out, 55 yards, walked it off. I knew where I needed to land at 30 yards, and I've done so many explosion shots like that in my practice. And luckily enough, I hit it out, came out perfect, and rolled up there nicely to have just a nice 4.5 footer for par. And was lucky enough to knock that one in to win the U.S. Open.
And so you heard the crowd there as the highlights were playing. They played such a huge role. He was playing to them. Now, the broadcast coverage got a little syrupy at times for my taste, but nonetheless, Bryson talked about just how much of a factor their support was in keeping his mind focused on hunting this thing down.
I can tell you it was everything. They came out, showed me what I could do out there for them. And that's what I have to say. The fans out there were incredible. They did everything to push me forward to win this championship. And it's a thanks to them. Not just my team, but it's a thanks to the golfing world for pushing me to win this title.
There was a point, and I think it was on the short par 4. It was 9 or 10, I forget which one it was. But he really wanted to go for it, but he knew it was not the smart play. And he said, when he was talking with his caddy and the mic got in, he said, "Don't boo me for this." And he pulled out an iron or something. And so, yeah, he understands the showmanship part of it now, and he's embraced it. And he talked about what was it that changed his mindset? How did he go about taking the pressure off of himself to be perfect, to justify all of the scientific knowledge that he puts into his game?
Yeah, I mean, when you hit rock bottom, there's no other place to go but up. And you just got to focus on that. You got to make sure that you have good people around you to help push you forward in a really cool, great direction. Keep your mind straight. Keep your mind on the task and goals at hand. To make you the best person you can possibly be. Just like I do with the people that I have around me. Sometimes they're in lows. I try to push them forward and help them up when they're struggling, because I know how deep and dark it can get, and really having those people around you to push forward. And like my dad said, he had a lot of tough moments in his life, and I was thinking about him all day out there, and he just told me, I just kept listening. I was like, "Tell me what you need out of me, Dad." And it was consistently, just keep swimming, just keep going. That was kind of our thing that we talked about growing up. Whenever I had tough times, just keep moving. There's no other way to go than up, and that's what I have to say to anybody that's struggling, man. I mean, it's not an easy world out there, and you have to have good people around to help you get into the right frame of mind and move forward in a really positive direction. It's very serious, and obviously, noting what happened just a couple weeks ago, this game can pull it out of you. I knew Grayson very well, and it's tragic, and I know the family, and I feel for them, and there's nothing but support on my side with their family to help them get through these tough, difficult times. I pray for their family every single day.
So Bryson, it was unbelievable, and he's gone through it, and now he is maybe as big a crowd favorite when he is at an event as anybody currently on tour. Obviously, Tiger, the nostalgia there. We'll talk about Tiger a little bit later in the show. He was getting a lifetime exemption into the signature events. But I hope Bryson can really just embrace it and He quit trying to prove to everybody that he was right, that his way was better than everybody else's way, and just said, this is how the game makes sense to me. And one of the great things about golf is there's so many different ways to go about it. There are so many different ways to be successful at it. And the trick is figuring out how it makes sense to you and how you can best take your skills and put the lowest score on the card. And that's why so many of us love it so much. The course is different every time. The conditions are different every time. Your body changes, all of those sorts of things. But if you quit trying to prove to everybody that you're smarter than everybody and just say, this is how the game makes sense to me, I appreciate that you enjoy my unique approach to it. And if he can keep that mentality, then I think he might be one of the ones where PGA events and sponsors is like, listen, what do we got to do? I want that guy in my field. I want that guy at my events. He draws people and eyeballs to it, and he might be the guy to do it because Jon Rahm isn't going to be that guy. So I'm hoping that that's the case. I could talk more about it, but we're a little over the clock, so I want to get to our guest coming up, Jason Bangold, PGA General Manager, Director of Golf at Gearhart Golf Links, one of the oldest course west of the Mississippi, has gone through such a change over the years, but he's going to join us, talk about playing golf out there. They've got some resort partnerships, McMiniman, some other ones if you want to get out there. They have some big events coming up as well. Playing golf, links-style golf on the Oregon coast, such a special thing. We'll talk to him next as we make the turn. It's Golf in the Northwest on 1080 The Fan.
Hey, I'm Brett Podolsky, co-founder of The Farmer's Dog. We make fresh food for dogs. We started the company when we saw what a huge difference it made in my own dog, Jada, when she stopped eating ultra-processed kibble and started eating fresh, whole food. The Farmer's Dog food isn't fancy. It's just real food delivered to your door in pre-portioned packs. It's better for them and easier for you.
Get 50% off your first box at thefarmersdog.com/radio. That's thefarmersdog.com/radio.
Look around. You can find cars like these on AutoTrader, like that car riding your tail. Or if you're tailgating right now, all those cars doubling as kitchens and living rooms are on AutoTrader too. Are you working out and listening to this ad at the same time? Well, multitasking pro, cars like the ones in the gym parking lot are for sale on AutoTrader. New cars, used cars, electric cars, maybe even flying cars. Okay, no flying cars, but as soon as they get invented, they'll be on AutoTrader. Just you wait. AutoTrader.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. And the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
We all know what UV rays can do to our skin, but they can also do damage to your car. Keep that from happening with 303 Protectant. 303 Protectant keeps the sun's harmful rays from causing fading and cracking in rubber, plastic, or vinyl surfaces. From the dashboard to the tires, 303 Protectant keeps your car looking new longer. Get 303 Protectant today at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Visit 303radio.com for more information.
Which new driver is best for your game? Who makes the best golf gear? Where should you take your next golf vacation? Which local course should you get to know better? This is the Business of Golf every week on Golf in the Northwest on 1080 The Fan.
8:32 here this morning, Golf in the Northwest Center and St. to follow us as we get into the business of golf. Very excited to talk to our next guest who's had quite a life journey through the game of golf, growing up just outside of Toronto, has been in the industry for nearly 3 decades. Curious to hear the story going from Toronto, outside of Toronto, played golf at the University of Charleston, was a golf professional for some of the biggest and best golf resorts in Hawaii, and then made his way to the Oregon coast. He is the general manager and director of golf for Gearhart Golf Links. Joining us now, Jason Bangold. Did I get that right?
Not even close, but nobody does. That's
Okay.
fine. It's Bangield, so pretty close.
Bangield.
Yeah, there you go. It's a Danish name. It's a tough one.
There we go. Well, I appreciate you taking a few minutes this morning, and just an amazing journey reading your bio. Outside of Canada there in a small town, how do you get the golf bug growing up in an area where your golf season is a limited window due to weather?
Yeah, no kidding. It's well, like every kid in Canada, I knew I was going to be a professional hockey player, and so the seasons lend themselves pretty well to both sports. You play hockey all winter, and then golf all summer. And I happened to grow up really close to a golf course, so I started working at a club when I was 12, and played golf in the summer and hockey in the winter. And then a golf scholarship ruined my NHL careers. Not that I would have made it anyway, but that put a stop to hockey. And was better at golf, and University of Charleston made me a nice offer, and played golf there for my time in school, and that was great, and that kind of propelled the career.
So then, nobody would dispute, honeymooned in Maui with your wife. Said, why don't we set up shop here? You worked at the plantation course at Kapalua. What convinced you and the opportunity to come to Gearhart and the Oregon coast and plant your flag here now for the last several years?
Yeah, no, there's no razor clams in Hawaii. So
that is true.
I had to make a move. No, Hawaii was awesome. We were there for almost 12 years total, and I was a 25-year-old assistant pro at Kapalua. That was a lot of fun. One of my first. There's a lot of golf pros there, and when the Mercedes Championship came around, everybody gets a job. And mine was Tiger Woods security, which was pretty cool. And really, all that meant was I just had to walk 10 feet in front of them for the whole week, and there were security guards and police officers and that kind of thing. And I just had to lift the ropes and make sure everybody knew where they were going. But that was pretty cool to be able to spend a week up close and with Tiger and see and hear every shot. That was really neat. And then the move to the Big Island came when I got my first head pro job. So we moved to the Big Island, and then this club called Nenea Golf Club opened up, and that was really something. I mean, that was an ultra-exclusive private club owned by Charles Schwab and George Roberts, and kind of opened that place up and hung out there for 9 years. And Melissa, my wife, and our son Tyler, who's now 15, at the time he was getting close to being 2, and we tell everybody he had been on 55 airplanes before he was 2, which that's a lot of flights. So
that's a lot of flights.
That was getting a little bit old, and we were missing too much stuff back on the mainland. We've got family still back in Ontario, and Melissa's family was kind of scattered all over. So we just felt it was time to get back to the mainland. So Tim Boyle, who owns Columbia Sportswear and owns Gearhart Golf Links, he's a member of the club I worked at over there, and we got to talking, and he said, could you live in Gearhart? And I said something eloquent like, where the hell's Gearhart? And came over and took a look, and it was everything we were looking for. Small town, a school right in town. Everybody knows your name. The post office is kind of the central hub, and they still sell fudge, and kids ride their bikes, and all the stuff we were looking for. And then the golf course, it was a cool golf course when I got here, but Tim had big plans, which was really what intrigued me. He wanted to return the golf course to its original roots, original links roots, and that involved removing a whole bunch of trees and then just upping the curb appeal of all the amenities. We built a new hotel, got rid of all those trees, reshaped the fairways, built a putting course, built a small bar, et cetera, et cetera. So it's been nonstop, and it's been a ton of fun. And the proof is in the pudding. Our rounds have gone up like crazy, and the golf course is in fantastic shape. We're really lucky to have a guy named Forrest Goodling as our superintendent. He's just unbelievable what he can do with the golf course. The greens are, close to perfect, and I'm not just saying that. They're really, really good, and rolling, between 11.5 and 12.5 on the stem, which for those who don't know, that's really fast. And it's just a ton of fun to play. So it's been great.
Jason Bangield, our guest here, the Director of Golf General Manager out at Gearhart Golf Links. And so for those that haven't played it or haven't played it since all of the redevelopment, reconstruction has gone on, and golf at the Oregon coast is a unique experience all along the coast. There's some gems, obviously, we know about Bandon over the years, but even up north, the Astoria Golf Club, we've talked to Jason a number of times, and the gem that it is. What makes this place so special, aside from just its history, and what are some of the tips for people that want to come out and get an opportunity to play?
Yeah, you got it. You said it there. There are some real gems up along the coast. Astoria is great. The Highlands Golf Course is a lot of fun. 9-hole course around the corner, and then like you said, the complex down at Bandon is second to none. So what can you expect here? Something you're not going to get anywhere else. Links golf is pretty rare in this country. So it's a windswept set of dunes next to the ocean. So weather is definitely a big factor in your day of golf out here. Wind is always something to consider. Now that we've done the remodel, there are very few trees out on the golf course, which is something you're only going to see on links golf courses. The greens are really small and really fast. So, my favorite tip is favor the middle. If you get out to the edges, we've got some long fescue out there, which can grab you, and practice your putting. The greens are, they're fairly benign in terms of slope, but they're small and they're quick. So you got to know what you're doing and take your time.
Well, and you've also been the Merchandiser of the Year here for the Oregon chapter for the Oregon Golf Association in 2016, 2019. We just had Father's Day. I'm curious, from a merchandising standpoint, there's so much technological advancement rapidly in the game of golf with clubs, with golf balls, with teaching devices as well. Is there something in the last, 5 to 10 years that has made it a lot easier, or something that you think is more important than just the normal development, a technological development? And what do you think moving forward from the manufacturers? Is there something big coming down the road?
Yeah, no, I think you said it there. It's actually easier on our side of the counter. All of the equipment companies are so good, and this is not a cop-out, but they really are. I mean, you pick a vendor, Titleist, TaylorMade, Ping, they're all so good that it's a lot easier for us to promote these products because there isn't that much, and the customers themselves are so much better informed. They do research, and everybody's been on TrackMan or GC Quad to get their numbers, that they're much more informed. We have way more people come to me now, and they already know what they want. They say, I want this driver with this shaft, and this kick point, and this loft, and this stiffness. So it has become a lot easier, and I think now the rules that the USGA has in play, we're kind of maxed out. We're maxed out in terms of size, we're maxed out in terms of the trampolining effect off the face, et cetera, and now they're talking about rolling back the golf ball. So I think it's going to be an interesting next couple of years to see what happens.
No question. The course there, you guys have some big events coming up. One of them plays into the Portland Classic here when the LPGA comes. You guys get to host the amateur qualifier, Les Schwab amateur qualifier. That's always fun. But I'm really curious about this. The Northwest Hickory Players is a group. They're out there in the middle of July. A little bit about that group. Is it exactly what I think? These are old school, like wooden golf clubs from 100 years ago. How is that group playing?
Yeah, exactly. So this will be their 10th meeting of the Northwest Hickory Players. So these guys are awesome. They're guys and girls, I should say. They're completely rabid about golf. They're just nuts for the game. And yes, they wear clothing from that era, or replicas from that era. So you're going to see guys in knickers, and you're going to see ladies in dresses down to the ground. They do use hickory shafted clubs, and they just embrace everything that's great about golf. And when we had the U.S. Hickory Open here, to put it into perspective, we had the practice round was at noon, and everybody showed up at 9. So they wanted to be here to share stories and trade clubs and look at each other's shoes and they're all the fancy stuff they brought out for this big event, and they're really great. They're just a lot of fun. So the Northwest Hickory players, they have their call it a chapter event here every summer. Normally it's between 40 and 60 players, and this year we're going to have close to 80. So it's grown obviously. And then we were fortunate enough to have the U.S. Hickory Open here a few years ago, which is exactly what it sounds like. That's a national open. And our winner shot even par with Hickory clubs. That's pretty darn good. Wow. And he made an eagle on 8 and an eagle on 13. It's fun to watch.
Well, and then you have the course has, with the redevelopment, the reconstruction, gone from just a Parkland course back to its links roots, and you've gone from just a public open course. Now there's some semi-private memberships. It's much more difficult to just call up and get around out there. But I know you have some partnerships with some local area inns and hotels out there as well. For people that want to play or come experience for the first time, what's the best way to do that coming over here from the Portland metropolitan area?
Yeah, you got it. So they can always call the pro shop and talk to any of us on the professional staff. We're happy to do that. Or maybe even easier, just go to our website, GearhartGolfLinks.com, click on lodging. We have 3 lodging partners in the building that I'm standing in. We have McMenamin's Gearhart Hotel. There's 34 hotel rooms. Across the street is Gearhart by the Sea condominiums, and I believe there's 80 units that are available for rent there. They're all ocean facing. And then the Drift Haven is a small cottage, series of cottages downtown Gearhart. They have 14 units available, and that's really cute as well. And, so they're all very, very close here to Gearhart. And it is tougher. Like you said, and globally, golf has exploded since COVID, and we're up 30 to 40%, which means the lodging is 30 to 40% busier too. So if you want to come see us, which we'd love to, just make your plans in advance, and we'll see you at the beach.
Is there? Are you guys already booked up for the summer? Obviously, I would imagine weekends are loaded, but kind of weekdays. Is there some windows in there for people that want to get out here this summer?
No, absolutely. Yeah, no, and the weekends are busy, but there's still room, and we have a series of tournaments that we host, and then we have a series of, we call them outside events, which would be family tournaments or corporate events, and very few days are closed completely. We do have a couple that are, but for the most part, there's always room to play, and you can book 30 days in advance. So, like I said, if you do think you're coming this way, just make sure you do it in advance, and we'll get you set up.
Fantastic. Well, it's a great story. I can talk to you for the rest of the hour. We'd love to have you back on sometime later in the summer, or hopefully maybe sometime take the show on the road out there. Jason Bangield joining us. I'm sure I butchered that, but I'll get it. I'll get it dialed in by the next time. Out at Gearhart Golf Links, the director of golf. Again, it's GearhartGolfLinks.com for all the information. Thanks so much. Have a great time. Enjoy the amateur when the young ladies are out trying to get into the Portland Classic. Have fun with the Hickory the Hickory Open as well, and we look forward to chatting with you down the road.
No, you bet. Thanks for having me. You guys have a great day.
There you go. Jason Bangield, director of golf out at Gearhart Golf Links. GearhartGolfLinks.com again for all the information, and head on out there. Take advantage. Some of the best golf in the region on the coast here at Oregon. The conditions as close to Scotland, Ireland as you're going to find in the United States. We'll come back. We'll check in. Lexi Thompson in contention for another major as she finishes out her last full season on the LPGA Tour. We'll hear from her. Also, Tiger Woods gets a lifetime exemption for the signature events from the PGA Tour. How many of these do you think he'll play outside of his event? And can he ever get back to playing more than just the majors? We'll find out as we wrap things up here. It's Golf in the Northwest on 1080 The Fan.
If you've been arrested for a DUI, call the Reynolds Defense Firm. This is McDaniel Reynolds with the Reynolds Defense Firm, and we specialize in just one thing. We represent good people facing DUI charges. If you've been arrested, the first thing you need is to find the right law firm to help you. The kind of law firm you can place your faith and trust into. A law firm that you can believe in, and one that will believe in you too. The Reynolds Defense Firm is exactly that kind of law firm for the clients we work with. We do fantastic legal work, and our team is second to none. While every case is unique and outcomes differ, what I can say is that our successes in the courtroom often border on amazing. And this isn't just a happy coincidence. Our attorneys have more than 35 years of experience in Oregon's DUI laws, and we understand the criminal justice system inside and out. When I say we do just one thing, I mean it. and this is why we are so effective. The Reynolds Defense Firm isn't right for everyone, but we are exactly the right firm to help good people who face DUI charges. Please keep our number in your telephone, and if someone you believe in has been arrested for a DUI, please call us right away. The Reynolds Defense Firm. We're solid, we're here if you need us, and we are very good at what we do.
The Fan 411.
Log on to the contest page at 1080thefan.com now for your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to the Malala Buckaroo. The Malala Buckaroo Rodeo's back. July 1st through 4th, you can celebrate the nation's birthday with nonstop rodeo action, barrel racing, calf roping, bull riding, team roping, and more. Plus, each night features a truly spectacular fireworks show followed by live music and dancing. For details, log on to 1080thefan.com.
That's the Fan 411.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
This is Golf in the Northwest on 1080 The Fan.
Thanks again to Jason Bangield for joining us from Gearhart Golf Links as we wrap things up here. A major going on up at Sahalee. If anybody's headed up there, it's a gorgeous place to watch golf being played. No question. But Sarah Schmelzel, Amy Yang, your second-round leaders going into the weekend on the third major of the LPGA season, but all eyes are on Lexi Thompson, 4 under. She's tied for third with Jin Young Ko and Hanako Shibuno. And this coming just a few weeks at the U.S. Open, she made a very emotional announcement that even though she's just 29, but she's been on tour for, 14 years. She's been playing in majors since she was 12 and burst onto the scene. But she will retire from full-time LPGA status, not playing full seasons of events. Since that time, she had a second-place finish last week and now finds herself in contention. And so following her first round, where she was a first-round co-leader at 4 under, just talked about finding her game and what's allowed her after a very difficult start to the season, missing cuts in 5 of her last 6 events. What did she figure out?
Tuesday or Wednesday of last week. It was really kind of last minute. I worked extremely hard when I was home, but wasn't really latching on to something in particular. And I got there that week, and I don't know if it was the atmosphere of the event and just enjoying being out there and just felt more free and enjoyed myself a lot more. So it kind of just all clicked.
And you could just tell the burden of whatever she was feeling for the last several years. Obviously some frustration. She wasn't winning big events at the rate that she had been, finding herself in contention and whatever, other personal things were going on. The ability to know that golf will not be the single focus that it has been for her, that has just alleviated a lot of stress and pressure. The other thing that has helped quite a bit is her caddy out there, and you see her on the course just having more conversations, laughing more, not letting things grind on her the way that they had. She talked about that relationship with her caddy.
So I've known him for a very long time, and we've always had a very great friendship. We get along so well, just never have worked together. I've always considered one of my great friends out here that I go to, and vice versa. We always have a good laugh with each other and really look for each other in a friendship when needed. So I was like, you know what? This sounds great. Like, let's just work together and see how it does. And, you know, no matter what, we'll always have that friendship and that bond that will never leave us. And it ended up working out. He's amazing out there for me. He's very positive, and that's what I need out there.
And so then in contention this week, some were speculating if she won this, would that change her mind about her decision to step away from the game full time?
But, you know, I'm just taking it one day at a time. You know, I made my announcement. I'm very content with it. You know, golf is a crazy game. So I'm not going to look too far ahead. I'm just going to take it one day at a time and see where it takes me.
And it's an interesting dynamic with the stars of the game because you can play this game for so long. Once we saw with Arnold Palmer, with Jack Nicklaus, with Tom Watson. We're seeing it now with Tiger Woods. You know, the fans want that. They don't want to let it go. This game does get romantic and nostalgic at times, and you want to see them be out there competing, and maybe they can capture what we saw with Jack Nicklaus do in 1986 at the Masters, Tiger winning that last Masters in 2019, I believe it was. Can you capture the magic for 4 days one more time and give the fans just one more thrill? I think Lexi is content. You never know. She's still only 29. She will not run away from the game completely. And I think she may go a route Annika is, and this is pure speculation on my part. She has always taken the responsibility of being a role model for young girls to heart. It is maybe the thing she's most proud of, and you will always see her signing autographs, taking time with younger girls who are wanting to get into the sport to help them. I think she may go that route with some academies or whatever the case may be. She will play in some events. We'll still see her out there. And maybe down the road, she'll miss the competition. Who knows? As for missing the competition, Tiger Woods has struggled since his car accident to come back. Wasn't able to be much of a threat at the U.S. Open and was quite frankly not as much a part of the storylines as he's been in previous attempts to try to come back. But the PGA Tour did grant him a lifetime exemption into signature events moving forward, 8 of them a year. Not that big a deal, giving him the opportunity, I think, not to worry about qualifying or have to grind it out. We'll see how many of those he plays in. But he talked about after the U.S. Open where his body is at and what's next for him.
I've only got one more tournament this season, so I'm not going to. I don't think even if I win the British Open, I don't think I'm going to the playoffs. So just one more event, and then come back and whenever I come back. As far as my last Open Championship or U.S. Open Championship, I don't know what that is. It may or may not be.
And with Charlie coming up, his son Charlie qualified for the U.S. Junior Amateur, so he's playing with that. I think that Charlie's success, his ability to qualify for a U.S. Open in the future, if Tiger could play with his son in a U.S. Open, that would be an extremely motivating factor. He's not done. He's not ready to give it up. But there are no signature events. There are no $20 million purses on tour for the players if there is no Tiger Woods. And so I don't think this is a big deal. These are special entry events anyway. He's not taking somebody's spot. There is some desire, I think, on tour to see if they can expand the fields a little bit for those signature events and have some cuts. And as things continue to work out with PIF and Live Golf and the PGA Tour, they're talking frequently. They're talking about phone calls back and forth between all the parties like 3 and 4 times a week. The 1-year anniversary is passed of that framework agreement, but I think they're trying to figure something out. The biggest hurdle will remain the Department of Justice, and if the U.S. Wants to use this as some political piece to try to get information about what the Saudis are up to, that's really the only thing that I think will derail this completely. But So much more of that is to come. But yes, for some of these great names on the tours, you certainly hope they can capture magic at some point down the road. That'll do it for us today. We'll be in Bend, Widgie Creek next Saturday morning. Hopefully you'll be able to join us there. We'll tell you all about some of the great golf that you can play out in Central Oregon. Thanks again to Jason Bangield for joining us from Gearhart Golf Links. Thanks to Will Darkin. Center and Saint is up next. Until then, I'm Jason. Hit 'em straight.
Rob here. You know, the wife and I have done some major remodeling over the last 5 years, and we've never better understood the importance of windows. If you need to upgrade your windows, now is the time to do it. Window Nation's semi-annual sale is offering 50% off all windows and 0 interest for 5 years, plus a bonus 10% off when you schedule an estimate through June 30th. The in-home consult is absolutely free. Get top quality windows at an affordable price. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
From Warren Allen, Attorneys at Law, I'm George McCoy, and when accidents happen, I'm the guy you deploy. Don't let insurance companies preserve their reserves. I'll get you what you deserve. If injuries and missing work are ruining your day, call George McCoy at warrenallen.com. We'll make them pay.
Get ready. The PDXYZ Summit is coming to Portland, Friday, June 31st through August 2nd. A truly groundbreaking unconference experience focused on bridging the generational and equity gap in business. Join top leaders from Portland Gear, Nike,